A deepening low pressure system off to the west is going to make its way into the Great Lakes region over the next couple of days. In this video, I'm going to talk about how much rain that's going to bring, what impacts it's going to bring, and then when we will likely see our first freeze of the season. Hello everybody, the time is 9:13 p.m. and it is October 11th. Welcome to another update from Great Lakes Weather. Hopefully everybody's doing well today. In this video we're going to talk about just basically this low pressure system that's going to be moving through, and then what the long range models are talking about with the first frost. Well, actually some places have already seen frost. Northern Indiana and Ohio have already seen their first frost. Parts of Michigan haven't seen it though. That's because the temperatures over the lakeshore again are a little bit warmer. It has brought lake effect rain to the area. Fall has really settled in. As you haven't noticed, it's been rather breezy and the leaves are really starting to change color over Michigan. Usually we probably are going to run a little bit late with regards to our fall colors for this time frame. I think that's probably going to start to change rather quickly with the cooler weather. But let's take a look at exactly what we are expecting with this low pressure system that is going to be moving through the Great Lakes region come the next couple of days. Again, this is the day 3 severe thunderstorm outlook. This is not for Thursday. This is for Friday. So Friday, again, pay attention to this. The marginal risk for severe weather is over parts of Illinois and extreme western Indiana. I don't think it's going to go much farther to the east. I think the severe weather threat for this region here is low. Given the fact that we have poor lapse rates, we do have strong winds in the upper and mid levels, but we do not have a favorable setup for severe weather given the fact that temperatures will be cool and also the lapse rates will be poor or low. So they won't be very steep, which means that's going to kind of hinder our severe weather potential, but showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible. And in fact, a couple of models are actually already hinting at some thunderstorms that are going to develop over during the day, during the morning on Thursday, which is in a matter of a few hours. So let's take a look here. As we get into about 2 a.m., you do see that thunderstorms do begin to develop along the warm front associated with this low that's developing over Kansas and Nebraska, which actually is going to bring the potential for tornadoes in that region. But we do have this setup for showers and thunderstorms here. You get a sounding ahead of these. You do notice that, yeah, you do have some elevated cloud bases and some low cloud tops with these. Storm relative felicity is strong with these, but again, no instability, low lapse rates, and you don't really have, with that, you don't really have a favorable setup. Temperatures are only in the 50s with some of these storms moving through. Not really going to bring about a good chance for strong thunderstorms with these. But you do notice the strong thunderstorms that develop over Nebraska Thursday afternoon. Those will have a more favorable setup for severe weather. Now, again, these models aren't really showing it, but you do have somewhat elevated cloud bases, but you do have marginal tornado potential with these strong storm relative felicity. You do have temperatures in the 70s out ahead of this low pressure system. That's actually because this warm front's still lifting off to the north, and it's going to bring warmer temperatures to Indiana and Ohio as well as it moves in. And then you notice this low pressure system starts to kind of weaken as it makes its way in, but you do see a lot of rainfall that begins to develop out ahead of it. And we are going to get quite a bit of rainfall with this. I could see some places picking up 2, maybe 2.5 inches with this storm setup with this setup that we have making our way in here. But the severe weather threat, again, is going to be quite low, and it's really going to be focused around the center of low pressure here. So that's kind of the thing that's we're watching, this heavy rainfall it's going to be moving through. We're going to freeze frame it on this particular point to kind of show you why this is not going to be a setup for severe weather. Again, temperatures are low, so that's already one major problem that will impact these storms. But look at the strength of the upper level winds, up to 60 knots in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and then the mid levels are also very strong with your wind speeds of about 40 to 45 knots. You do have wind shear, favorable wind shear in the atmosphere, but also again the favorable wind shear is displaced off to the west. And again, if you take a look at your lapse rates, which again is the amount of parcel of air is cooling as it rises, they are not very high, but they are heightened more across portions of Illinois. These low lapse rates will contribute to a lower chance of strong thunderstorms, which is why, again, marginal risk is displaced farther to our west. It's likely we're not going to see that much instability in the atmosphere out ahead of this thing. The instability is going to be focused more off to the west in portions of Illinois, eastern Iowa, those places. So Great Lakes region, just expect mainly rain, maybe a rumble of thunder here and there, but I don't think you're going to see much in terms of severe weather. Let's fast forward it to 90 hours real quick and take a look at our potential for rain accumulations by Sunday morning, Sunday 7 a.m. You get a look at the total precipitation. Some places may pick up to 2 inches of rain. You see especially places farther off to the west, such as Illinois, Minnesota, Iowa. Those places are going to pick up quite a bit of rain. But most, if not all, of the Great Lakes region is going to see a little bit of rain, from little to a lot of rain from this. And I think really here it's a little underestimated. I think we'll see a bit more rainfall in southern Michigan, northern Indiana, northern Ohio. I'd see up to 2 inches of rain in some spots, in quite a few spots in this region. So just keep that in mind. Lots of rainfall on the way, and it's going to keep our temperatures cooler once we get on the backside of this low as well. And let's take a look at that with the GFS model run. We are going to look into the long range a little bit, because I do see the potential for a cool air mass settling in that could bring our first freeze of the season. But let's take a look at what we're expecting for Thursday. Notice that warm front is lifting off to the north. As that warm front lifts off to the north, it brings temperatures close to the mid to upper 70s across portions of southern Indiana, southern Ohio. So warmer temperatures going to settle in down there. But look at the temperature gradient along this warm front. You see temperatures are in the 40s and even into the upper 30s in portions of Minnesota and South Dakota. And it kind of follows a ridge, follows the ridge along eastward into Michigan as well. And you see temperatures gradually warm up. Temperatures getting close to the 90s even in parts of Kansas. And then you start to see that low begin to surge through. You see it's kind of got a cooler spot on the back side of it where that those northerly winds are starting to push in. And then that low pressure system will push its way through, just bringing that cold front in. Temperatures will be much cooler by the time we get to Sunday afternoon. Look, temperatures are only in the 40s and 50s again. Back to cool weather for much of the region. Some places in Michigan, maybe even on Sunday night, could see some frost, and perhaps even a couple places might see their first freeze of the season. If the GFS models hold together, it might be a little bit overestimated here, but especially with the lake breeze. But if the winds are coming directly from the north, I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of freeze in some spots. But I really think the best chance for more freezing temperatures, we have a secondary low pressure system that looks to move through, and then after that low pressure system moves through, near getting close to the end of October, look at how quickly our temperatures will begin to drop once again. Temperatures dropping even as cold as the teens in some spots in Wisconsin. This is the wind chill though, keep that in mind. But still, wind chills are dropping into the 20s across portions of Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio by the end of October. Again, this is long range model. We can't be certain of anything with this, but begs the notion of when we could see our first freeze, and who knows, maybe even some snow, but I don't think that's going to come until near mid-November. But still, just something to keep in mind. So the low pressure system is what we're watching right now. The potential for some heavy rainfall. Not really seeing any severe weather from this. Again, kind of give you an explanation as to why that is. Make sure to subscribe and stay updated. We finally been able to upgrade some of our live streaming gear for potential for storm chases in the future. Hoping to do some winter storm chases here and there. Thanks for your support. Make sure to like the video and share it with other people. Get them informed about any upcoming weather, and subscribe to the channel. And I'm thankful for all of you. See you all later.